I'm Book Monster Mitch. So, Mike's Book Reviews. Mike's Book Reviews. Today, video similar to this. Similar to this video. So, I just wanted to give him a quick shout at the top of my video. Now, the video he did a day or two ago was titled 10 years later, basically saying if he read this book today, would he still like it 10 years or so later? Now, 10 years ago would be 2016, because as of recording this, it is August 20th of 2026. So, I'm gonna do something a little bit the same, but different. Um, because honestly, even as far back as 10 years ago, my reading taste has changed drastically, and I'll explain as I go along. When I was growing up, my mom would beg me, bribe me to read books, especially during summer vacation. Who she would bribe me and say $5, $10 a book, maybe even $20 a book, as many books as I could or would read during the summer, or really any time during the year, but especially on summer vacation from school. I remember a little play argument of me saying, Mom, there's a movie either out or coming out, um, based on a book. So, and of course, her argument would be like anybody else's. Read the book before seeing the movie, mainly because the movie would not have everything that's in the book. To that, I would tell her, yeah, okay, let me see the movie, and based on my impression of the movie, I'll read the book later. And honestly, that was just my way of politely saying, I want to see the movie um, more, more or less. Um, I had very little interest back then in reading. I have more interest now in reading, but unfortunately, I don't read as quickly as most people, so I cannot fit in maybe a couple of books, but a couple of books a year. if I'm lucky. Um, and my mood is so back and forth, like I've said so many times on the channel now, that's why I can only maybe read a book or two per year, but I still stack my TBR like we all do with books that I've either heard about or have been knowing about for years, and they just get backlogged with all the rest, either physical copies on my shelf and desk or Kindle e-reads, what have you. So anyway, I don't know what books I would have read 10 or maybe even 20 years ago that maybe if I read them now, would I feel the same way? I honestly cannot answer that question because, like I said, I read back then, but not as much as wanting to read now. The want to read something now is far greater than it was back then. Even back then, I stacked my shelves. I didn't have a Kindle or whatever back then, so I just packed my shelves with books from authors or titles or genres, what have you, that seemed interesting to me. And as always, I'll get to these eventually. Um, so, unfortunately, I can't definitively say what feelings I would have back then or now because I didn't read near or didn't want to read near as much. There are so many books and series that I would basically start for the first time now and, pretty much be like starting fresh because either I partially read them or didn't read them at all. So make make of that what you will. But that's my view on my reading habits 10 years ago, maybe even, you know, like I said, further back than that. But, and then now would be a better gauge to go off of in the future. Let's see, about 5 or 10 years, maybe even 2 or 3 years from now, what I've read now and feel about them a little further down the line. So I know this video might have been or is a little confusing and a little here and there. Um, but it's just a topic that I thought about, and honestly, Mike, and if you're watching this, I owe you a lot of credit for videos I do, video ideas I have, and or books I feel I want and or need to get to. Um, there are other sources, other YouTube creators, other people or things I follow on Facebook or just hear about in general conversation, whatever, whether it be books, movies, TV shows. You know, we are, there's something out there for everybody that we feel like, ooh, I need to drop this and get to that now. Um, Honestly, I felt that way with the Game of Thrones series for years. The show, HBO show, not necessarily books. I've tried the books, like I said, but I got more enjoyment out of the show, and that's not a knock. Or I'm not putting Martin down, George R. R. Martin down, for his writing style, prose, any of that. So please don't take that the wrong way. I've tried the books. I've tried reading the books. I've tried audio uh, books off a library site that I logged into for a while. So, maybe Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire books just are not for me, and that's okay. There's not one book or show out there, or game, or whatever that is for everybody. So, thank you. Have a good day, good evening. I hope you're able to take something positive away from this or any of my videos. Um, and just look, if you take anything away from me, just know we're all different. We all have different wants and needs and desires. That's the best way I can explain that. Um, so thank you. Have a good day, good evening. I'll talk to you soon with another video. Bye.